welcome back, hunters. I'm the Survivalist, and we return to Monster Hunter Wilds, where we're going to spend another weekend going over the spread shots for the light bowgun, talk a little bit about where it's done really well, and a few pet peeves here and there with the weapon trying to use it going forward. The build right now, I'll just take us to the tent to go over it. It is, I think, mostly the same build I had used last weekend to check out the spread shot changes for the light bowgun, but just to go over it to make sure. We've upgraded to the Guardian Doshagama light bowgun, because I think this is actually the highest raw damage light bowgun the game offers. It does have the offset of the minus 15% affinity to it, but that we can change up with a few skills and such for it. So all the decorations are on the left side, and then the skill breakdown is here. Critical boost force, and when we have positive affinity hits, they do a lot more damage than they usually do. Agitator, when the monster gets enraged, that gives us some extra, I think, attack and affinity. Constitution to help for the maximum might, we've got a couple down. Burst is one. I think this is sort of like the meta build for light bowgun, or like the highest damage output for using a Pierce build, but you can easily swap this around for, I think, both normal and spread builds too. It's mostly thanks to like not having skills carry over between, like, say, the weapon and the armor. You can basically sort of have each one as individual packages you can slot in and out. Like, different weapons can all be slotted out to keep the same armor build that we have here. And this mostly makes use of the Gormagala with the Black Eclipse to it. So we're going to be taking this out, and from, like, I've done some plays playing and such with the weapon and trying to spread out. It feels like it's one where you have to use Restrain, but if you can manage that and keep some shots going through, you can shred through monsters very quickly. I'm just going to see if there's anything really interesting to go for. We've already gone for an 8-star Archveld. I'd like to try to go after some of the 8-star other monsters that have, like, Apexes are there, but I don't think anything's, like, actually up right now for us, unfortunately. It would be kind of nice to have something like the, from Monster Hunter World Iceborne with the Guiding Lands. You could actually lure in monsters of, like, say, certain strengths or such to it. Now, that might be something we'll see in, like, the expansion or whatever to Wilds, but right now you just kind of have to go off of whatever luck you get. So maybe what we'll start with is, yeah, we'll go after these two just as something to, like, start us out a little bit and talk more and show off how the build works. For the most part, it is a lot smoother and a lot more usable than it was, that is very clear, but there are still, like, some nitpicks with the light bowgun that I still feel like take away from how it feels to play, and honestly, I feel like there's some things that should be switched with the heavy bowgun for it. So I'm just going to take that. And let's go find our first tier of Bomby. I also have focus camera turned back on, so we'll have monsters much more easily focused to, like, begin with. Oh, actually passing by a couple fighting right now. We'll deal with you guys later. For now, there's one. Well, technically, these might be both we need. Like, when you can go all out and use the chaser shot, you get a lot of damage out, but you also are locked in for taking a lot of damage through it, too. Like you can see, we're getting like 30 damage with some hits, and then when we have the chaser shot, we're getting up to like 52, so these shots can take off hundreds of HP at a time if you can get them in and survive with them. Oh. Okay, was kind of surprised to see the Frenzied Yonkaku here, but actually I think the cliffs are the only place alongside maybe Wyveria where you get the frenzied monster showing up. Okay, but this is the one I guess we're going to focus on to begin with. Oh. Yeah, so we'll call ours over and follow up with wherever these guys are heading off to. Like, truth be told, with it being a frenzied Cutku, I feel like we could probably take it down in less than a minute with this build. Like, I know the frenzied Cutku is like one of the weakest monsters in the game to go for, but... Okay, yeah, these two are hanging out as actual pairs. We'll have to be a bit mindful of that. Ow, shoot. Yeah, so... I haven't used the focus camera too much, so I'm kind of curious to see how this will go. With having, like, these two and this one area to tackle, I don't know if the camera will, like, really start spinning around a lot. We'll see how it goes. Ow, shoot. Yeah, that's one thing I do dislike about having focus cameras. If we do have multiple things we have to kind of keep track of, it really does not let you see the full field of view for all you have to contend with. Oh, I didn't even know I had a sneak attack option there. I've just been trying to get the slinger ammo. Yeah, like already we basically got this one tempered here bomb me down. So here, Bommy aren't exactly like the strongest of monsters out there to go after. But it does go show, like, even with us getting distracted with, like, the couple to deal with, the build does do decent damage numbers out. So we'll just work... let our Sacred take us up to the nest where it's going to go hide. And we'll try to get into, like, a more proper one-on-one, just so that way maybe the camera won't be so flipping around as we're trying to track so much going on at once. Yeah, there we go. Already taken down. We'll carve you up, and then go after the other one. Now, hopefully I can get into more of, like, a proper one-on-one engagement, go over some of the issues I have with the spread bit. Well, it's not actually with spread itself, it's actually the rapid-fire mode, and, like, trying to do too many things automatically on its own that I have issues with it. Oh, wait, is there? Oh, it looks like Jin Dahad is... Oh, he is on the map. Ooh. Okay, this is the first time I've seen this. I know when you do fight him in one of the cave areas, you do kind of have, like, a conflict between, like, a hair bomby pack and him. Damn, I was gonna say, he's doing more damage for us than we even have to do, because this is... Yeah, this is the one that we're after. Nope, okay, so it does look like it's going to be a pair still. That's no problem. It is only now a tempered and a regular, so it's not like we have to mine too much damage like we were before. Although the roar locks are annoying. Like, one nitpick I still have is I dislike how slow it is to get the light bowgun prepared for, like, the focus mode attack. It feels like by the time you get that up, you basically lose your opening for most of them. Or you can only get, like, a really weak hit to try to get most use out of it. No, Runa, you want to help? No, of course not. Yeah, that is one thing I really miss from, like, Rise and Sunbreak, is how good the Palamutes and Palicos were when it came to, like, you needing a hand out of something. They were right on it. Where it feels like now they've really slipped back to... Sometimes they'll help you out, but more so pretty rarely. Like, prime example is how long try and get out of that. Ah, bugger. Okay, we're getting a little bit in, but yeah, I gotta admit, dark camera does not feel that great. Feels like I'm going to get a little motion sick myself with how the camera likes to, like, spin around, keep track. I do admit one thing, too, I kind of dislike with the pack system that they have in Wilds. You don't come across it pretty often. It seems like it's only, I think, like Kiribami and Doshagma where it's really a thing. It feels like the large dung pods, you need to disperse them. You don't find all that well just out in the environment to make good use of. It feels like they're in, like, really limited spots. So unless you use them from... Oh, come on. That's stupid. And thanks for nothing, Runa. Yeah, again, it feels like some of the... No, not that one. I want... There we go. It does feel like there have been some weird, like, downgrades or shifts in some, like, the behavior for things, just to make it more cumbersome and clunky. There we go. Yeah, take this one down. Okay, get rapid fire mode up. So one of the things that I found I've disliked with rapid fire mode is at certain times you'll get like reloads in that are done automatically when you have like no clip left. Yeah, like that, where it locks you in longer than you might want to be. I have no problem if they want to give like a speed boost for the reloads in that, but I'd rather you have the deciding factor on if you do want to reload automatically for dodge like that or not. Because it can be the case where you're trying to get out of danger very quickly, but because you're automatically thrown into that reload, you're stuck and you're going to get smacked with it. It doesn't feel as bad in like some of the other things, like say with normal or pierce, because you have a little bit more distance from the monsters for those shot types. But with spread, because you are dealing with much more close quarters, it feels like you will be into that more often. But that was just that little quest to begin with. And you know what? I'm actually going to quickly go into the menu to change that up to get rid of the focus camera. Again, it's not bad one-on-one, but I still feel like if the monster is right on top of you, it feels like the camera's going to go spinning and spinning and spinning on you. And I'll admit myself, I feel like a little bit of motion sickness there. I guess that's alright. Where is the focus camera? Yeah, disable that. Okay, let's get back to our base camp, and we'll take a look and see if there's anything new to try going after when it comes to the other areas. Again, I'd like to try to go after the 8-star apexes now, because those are the most recent monsters added. But I don't think they show up very frequently out in the world. And we'll just have a quick meal. And do that, and go for that one. So aside from like the little issues I have when it comes to the Eagle Strike with the focus mode attack for the light bowgun and the like sometimes automatic reload that's thrown in with the rapid gate or rapid fire mode, I think the light bowgun has found a bit more of a better spot for it. Like having spread now as an option more properly does feel like it helps round out the weapon so much more, since before you basically had only two styles that played. Either the normal mode builds, which would be kind of like nice and reactionary in that, but nothing too outstanding with them, or it would be yeah, maybe we'll go for the tempered chips roast down here. Or it would be the Pierce and Elemental build, since their ammo types work pretty much the same. And this might be an annoying duo to go up against.
I think we can use it in combat.
Yeah, this might be a little bit of a duo to try taking on, given the flashing they'll both do. I'm not actually sure. Okay, so this is the one I think we've got. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we got ice pillars in the area, although I don't think I have anything that's, like, too close. Oh, shoot. Thank you, Runa. Yeah, the healing is probably the best part of the Palicos. I don't think that, and thanks to the latest, Blossom Dance Festival, I think that was what was happened. Getting the paralysis weapon. Oh, frickin'. Yeah, it's hard to keep track of which one I even want to go after these two. Oh, okay, well, there's at least... Oh, shit. Again, blindsided by the other one when I'm trying to focus one. Uh-oh, another one? What else do we gotta deal with now? Oh, actually, we might be down to just dealing with... this Gypsyros.
Looks like it's moving to a new area. Get a load of these claws.
Okay, but that way... God, I went through a lot more potions than I thought I would have had to there, but... Does go to show it's still rough going after monsters when there's, like, more than one of them in an area. I think it almost seems like when they're the same kind of monster, they don't do... Yeah, it seems like they do minimum damage to each other for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it's like... Maybe it's to make up for, like, the pack ability that you have for them now. So, like, say, for Doshagumas, the packs don't tear themselves apart going after you if you fight them at one.
Do your thing, Blunder Egg. All right, perfect. Let's cleanse that status.
But now that we're... I'm actually surprised that we are able to fight this one without the other one interfering. I guess it goes to show, like, their detection boxes aren't quite as large as they... Never mind, used to be. It seems like whenever I make a comment, that's when the game or these guys decide, no, now's when we're going to actually change and make it so that way you're wrong. Ow. Although, actually, I got hit too hard for being a tempered. And let's get that tail. Yeah, once you can get a weak spot in and you unload, it does go very quick for getting them down. It's still, again, not exactly what I've been wanting to go up against and really test ourselves out with the build. But even just getting these small hunts in to show it off and show what it's capable of doesn't hurt too badly. I don't know if it actually does have, like, enough damage to really rival the most fast builds that are out there, like the Pierce builds, but I like that's at least just another option if you do want to try something different for playstyle. It's offered for the weapon. I do kind of want to go after the other Gypsyros now just for a bit of revenge. Actually, maybe that's one other thing I want to change right now. There's an option in... I think it's for the Sacred. There's like an... Yeah, no, stop. There's an option where it has like an auto-explore, it does. So I want to see if I can find that and stop it from doing that, because, like... There we go. Oh, and we do have a Gormagala in... Ooh. You know what? We're probably going to be in for a really rough go of it. But we're going to try going after this 8-star Tempered Gormagala. I think this is another one of the recent additions from the update. But I've heard that this one really packs a big punch. I think it might even be tougher. It's like the toughest monster outside of like Arc Tempered stuff in the game right now. But I do need to step up and cap up our supplies for it, just in case. Because it sounds like it hits like an absolute truck. Which, I mean, granted, a lot of monsters in the game do hit that hard. But especially so for Tempered Gormagala at 8 stars. And it's also going to be interesting because Gore is a really dynamic fight too. So trying to use spread build, which has like a lot of lock-ins for how slow the animations can be, might make this a rough go. And one thing I do dislike about Gore is that a lot of the times you fight him in the Ice Shard Cliffs here, and as you can see, it's not a big area to... Oh, God, yeah, that... Yeah, just his, like, little, virus blast there really hit for a lot. So he is definitely packing a big punch now. Ooh. Yeah, some of the, almost feels like... Okay, well, at least now we'll be able to see a bit better. Oh. I still hate the verticality crap that for 4th generation introduced. Like, these little ledges here, on the one hand, yeah, you can get mounts off. But problem is, you also get delayed in, like, climbing up them for when you really need to get out of the way. Ow. And stamped pretty hard there. Okay. We'll probably want to stop in to resupply on our max potions. And go from there. So yeah, 8-star Gore definitely lives up to a lot of the talk about him about being super strong. Oh. Well, actually, I think this is where we were fighting him, but I guess he got knocked down the... I guess he got knocked down here. Now, I think I actually want to try avoiding using the chaser shot a lot. Okay, that actually will help a lot if it does proc. Oh, yeah. Okay, gotta be mindful of that. And try and get the distance for getting the spread to work on Gore is also a little tough, too. Now, I believe how he works at 8 star is until the feelers break, he stays in this, like, more extreme mode. Okay, well, I didn't even actually know he had a wound there to break, but I'll take it, I guess. Yeah, now we're stepping up a little bit to try to match him. It also seems like he's a lot more resistant to getting wounds on him. Because I don't really see any that have been made since... Oh, shoot. Yeah, I am glad I had the warm-ups with this. Oh, but even still. Yeah, it's tough using the spread build still. Like, against certain monsters where they're so fast, it still feels like it's too outclassed and too clunky in some regards. It's gotten better for sure, but against, like, the very top-end stuff, I think it's still lacking. Even normal build, because you at least have, like, a little bit more responsivity and reactivity, you can kind of get through with that. No, I guess I can't get the horns off that guy. I was going to try to get, like, the paralysis things. God, and those feelers feel like they're really hard to break. Even with all the shots that we've gotten straight to the head, they're still hanging in there. Okay, well, at least there's a a wound on him. Ooh. God, the evade window actually helped a fair bit there. I still have some trouble reading it, since it feels like it's a lot more delayed for when the evade window actually applies. Oh, and I got greedy with the chaser shot there. I gotta remember that. It's gotta be very, very liberal with it. Oh. I don't know why there was... Another thing with using the Sacrets, I hate that they're such like an escape thing, but you kind of have to use them in the fights, because they make the player so clunky in getting up. Give me a decoration that says, you don't take so long to get up from being knocked down or flattened or stuff like that. Because I hate having to call that in, like, cheat to basically get out and actually be able to respond in a timely manner. The more you throw in a gimmick and make it so you have to use it and it's too, like, everything else is taken away to enforce and accentuate it, just makes that a horrible implementation of it. It feels so bad to have it, like, you want to get up from being knocked down, but it's slower to actually get yourself up from standing than it is to call the Sacred in and use them to get yourself up. It's something that, even still, like, in the heat of fighting and such, it really feels bad. And another point I have of issue with that is when you do call the Sacred in, it keeps running in the direction that it came from, not the direction you might be trying to face or wanting to get out of there. So you might be thinking, okay, I've gotten knocked down, I want to go backwards and out, but instead it runs you in forward because it came in from behind to get you. It's just, I feel like ways of like how the game was done with Monster Hunter World and Rise and Sunbreak have been taken back and made like more cumbersome, more clunky, without good reason, only to try to push more like other things that have been put into the game, like say the Sacred for calling it in for like riding around and such. It's still got its issues and flaws, and I hope there are like more update changes that come along, since I was quite surprised at the weapon changes we already saw with the Street Fighter 6 collaboration that was put in, so maybe with more feedback we'll get more improvement, but that is one thing I despise, is just how weirdly cumbersome your hunter is anytime they get hit. Like the weird, almost like cartoony of how much you'll get rolled back, or when you try to get up, you have this weird like crawling in place almost, even though you should just be pushing yourself up or trying to like press a dodge and roll to get out of things. It just doesn't feel natural. It feels like it's, again, cumbersome all to try to enforce using the Secrets, which I don't think should have use in fights. They should be for utility, for running around, exploring, getting resources, tracking monsters, but not when it comes to the actual engagements and fighting them. I didn't like it for Zoshea with how, like, you seem to need to use them to escape a lot of the large area of effects, and I don't like them in just general either, because I feel like on some monsters, they're super cheap to get you out of places and such, and others, it feels super forced to use them. But we'll bring this episode from Monster Hunter Wilds to a close. I'll do one more to round out the weekend while I still think of a weekend series. We'll keep trying to use the spread build and see what else we can do for it, and just get more exposure with it, because I don't know if there's many people actually going and talking about the spread builds for Wilds since they've been, like, tweaked a bit. For now, though, thank you all very much for joining me on this episode of Monster Hunter Wilds. If you did like the video, be sure to give it a like, and if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure in the comments right down below. Until I see you all in the next video or episode, Hunters and Survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, and happy hunting.